Yankees lose. The Canucks lose. The Canucks lose. Oh my goodness gracious. Thatcher Demko. My God. First of all, before I even get into the rage baiting against Canucks fans right now with that little intro, by the way, thank you for tuning in tonight to the live stream. Canucks fans, I love all of you. The Canucks lose. The Canucks lose. Yes, they do. Edmonton wins 3-1. You can tell I'm pretty happy about it for obvious reasons. But before we get into the meat and potatoes of this fan reaction, before I even talk about the game, I got to give a round of applause to Thatcher Demko. My goodness gracious. Thatcher Demko is legitimately the reason why this game was not a complete blowout in favor of the Edmonton Oilers. And also, the Oilers power play, a little shaky. That might have been the only negative of the night for the Edmonton Oilers and for us Oilers fans. The Oilers had 5 power play opportunities to the Canucks 2, but the Oilers did get a shorthanded empty net goal. What? Leon Draisaitl hit an empty net? Are you kidding me? The Oilers actually hit an empty net. How long did it take the Oilers to get an empty net goal last season? Can anyone remember? Does anyone remember when the Oilers scored an empty net goal last season? I feel like it took forever. But the Oilers tonight in the second game of the season, they get an empty netter. Quinn Hughes, very, very mad about it. Broke his stick. Very unhappy that puck got by him. Draisaitl, it was kind of a weird backhand shot into the empty net. We'll take a look at the edge visualizer just so that you all see what I mean. The Oilers lose. The Oilers win. The Canucks lose. It's been a long night. I was calling Quinn Hughes Mackenzie Hughes all night. For those of you unaware, Mackenzie Hughes is a Canadian golfer on the PGA Tour. For some reason, I kept calling Quinn Hughes Mackenzie Hughes, and chat was not letting me hear the end of it. Thank you so much for those who tuned into the live stream tonight. Appreciate that. You're all the best. Everyone that was in the live stream tonight, thank you so much. If you have not been part of live streams here on the Austin Hockey YouTube channel, make sure you hit the like button on this video and make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a live stream in the future. I'm planning on going live as many times as possible for as many games. There are going to be a couple games where I'm not going to be live for. Later this month, the Seattle game, near the end of the month, I think on the 25th, I am going to be in Vancouver, so I won't be able to do a live stream for that one. And then in Vancouver the night after on the 26th, again, I'm going to the game in Vancouver. I will not be able to do a live stream. I'm very much looking forward to the rematch between these two teams. I think Vancouver has a lot more to prove. I think they needed to play much better, but credit to the Edmonton Oilers and the Oilers' depth. Depth showed up tonight. Special teams showed up tonight other than the power play and goaltending. Calvin Pickard wasn't tested a whole lot, but when he did have to make a couple saves, he made a couple saves. Say what you want about the goal that Brock Besser scored, right? Not a great goal. You might have wanted a save there, but I am going to say if that was Stuart Skinner in the net for the goal that Calvin Pickard gave up, I think fans would have lost their collective minds. I said it on the live stream. I think Calvin Pickard needed to make a save there. I think Brock Besser was just throwing the puck into an area and hoping it was going to go through. It ended up going on the outside post and in. Kind of a tough one. Would have liked to save there. But the Oilers, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. They came out on top with the win. We're going to take a look at the stats. We're going to take a look at the NHL Edge Visualizer. We're going to take a look at the advanced stats according to Money Puck. Yes, we are back to the advanced stats. Of course, take everything with a grain of salt when it comes to the advanced analytics because 1 game, 2 game sample sizes, right? I don't think this is reflective of how the season is going to play out. But if the Oilers did play like this all season long, well, they're going to win a whole bunch of hockey games just based on how many chances they had tonight. My goodness gracious. Let's take a look at Money Puck tonight. According to the deserved to win meter, the Canucks win only 5% of the time in 1,000 game simulations based on the amount of chances that the Oilers had. And if you look at this shot chart, yes, Vancouver had a few looks on the inside here, especially around the blue paint. They were trying to get inside. The Oilers, for the most part, did a pretty good job boxing them out. If you take a look at the Oilers shot chart and chance chart, oh my goodness, look at all these chances. Thatcher Demko had to really, really make some big saves tonight. Noah Philp, his first NHL goal. Love that for Noah Philp. Big round of applause to Noah Philp. Great goal. Passes from Kasperi Kapanen and Vasily Podkolzin. Love to see that for Noah Philp. Noah Philp, unfortunately, was on the receiving end of an own goal against the Calgary Flames. So the fact that he's been able to rebound, he scores his first goal of his career tonight. Love to see that. Noah Philp's path to the NHL is inspiring. He took a year off for his own well-being. He didn't know if he'd ever want to play hockey again a couple of years ago. And the fact that he is playing on a very deep Edmonton Oilers team, and I'm going to talk about why this team is deep in a couple minutes, but the fact that he has played his way onto this team as the third line center, him, Podkolzin, and Kapanen had some good chemistry tonight. Philp, first NHL goal. You love to see that. I love stories like what Noah Philp has gone through. I did not like the late penalty that he took in the third period on Evander Kane. We'll also talk about Evander Kane's play, trying to get under the skin of a few Oilers, and poor Alec Regula being on the receiving end of a couple big hits by Evander Kane. Andrew Mangiapane, his second goal as an Oiler. Goals in consecutive games for Mangiapane. Love to see that. He stole the puck on a clearing attempt by Coots, the young rookie on the Vancouver Canucks, and then Mangiapane beat Demko on the blocker side. Brock Besser scored early in the third period, 47 seconds in. That is 2 games in a row where the Oilers have given up an early third period goal. However, this time, the Oilers, they continue to play pretty well. They push the pace. Leon Draisaitl with the empty netter. Assists from Darnell Nurse and Connor McDavid. And by the way, I thought Darnell Nurse played a great game. Look at the expected goals tonight. Look at the expected goals according to Money Puck. 5.92 to 1.61. Oh my goodness gracious, Thatcher Demko. Have yourself a night. If you're a Canucks player, you got to be buying Demko a beer tonight. You got to buy him his dinner. Demko is legitimately the only reason why Vancouver even had an opportunity to tie the game late on the power play before Draisaitl got that empty netter shorthanded. Great game from basically every single Edmonton Oiler. There was very little players that I actually had an issue with. Yes, Henrique is kind of near the bottom in the expected goals. I'm not really worried about that, honestly. I didn't think he played poorly. I thought Adam Henrique had a bit more jump to his step. Now, maybe it's because I've had a beer or two tonight, but I thought Adam Henrique looked a little bit faster as well. I thought he was a little bit more quick on his feet, which is good to see. Obviously, Henrique long-term, I'm not sure what the plan is for him in this lineup, but I do like that he played good, right? If guys like Adam Henrique and the rest of the lineup are playing good in the bottom 6, the Oilers have a great chance to win most games. If we take a look at the defensive pairs, Ekholm Bouchard was their top pair. Nurse and Regula, again, Regula, he took a couple big hits from Evander Kane tonight. What I will say about Darnell Nurse, I am so proud of Nurse. Now, I'm going to go into my full screen for a second because I do have to talk about Darnell Nurse. In the second period, Alec Regula was boarded by Evander Kane. Now, they didn't call boarding. You could have called boarding, right? It was kind of one of those borderline plays where maybe you call it, maybe you don't. Personally, I am in favor of player safety, so if I'm the official, I probably would have called boarding on Evander Kane for the hit on Alec Regula. Now, what Darnell Nurse did in that second period, which was, I think, a game changer here. He went up to Kane, he grabbed Kane, but he didn't just start throwing the gloves. He didn't immediately retaliate. And that is absolutely key. Him and Kane, Nurse and Kane, they had a few pleasantries. They exchanged some words, former teammates, of course, and both of them got 2 minutes each. So it's 4-on-4. Darnell Nurse could have easily been like, hey, you hit my rookie, we're dropping the gloves. And if Nurse drops his gloves first, well, that's an instigator penalty. And we've seen players like Darnell Nurse in the past do that. Like, they'll retaliate, they'll take a penalty, they'll put their team shorthanded. And as much as I love defending your teammates, there are times and places. If Alec Regula had stayed down, if he had been knocked out, if there had been blood drawn or whatever, yeah, I think Nurse would have dropped the gloves there. But Alec Regula, he got up pretty quickly, and I think Nurse recognized that. So Nurse goes to Kane, has a conversation, it's 4-on-4. So instead of the Oilers potentially being down a man, Darnell Nurse ensures that it's 4-on-4. And then Andrew Mangiapane, he pots one during the 4-on-4 to make it 2-0 Edmonton. Very, very important play from Darnell Nurse as a leader on that team and as someone that is defending his rookie partner on defense with Alec Regula, and I like that. Now, late in the third period, Evander Kane threw another hard hit on Regula. Regula was taken down the tunnel by the concussion spotter with about 2 minutes left. Not sure what the status of Regula is moving forward. I think Regula is going to be okay. But Noah Philp, this is where the retaliation could come back to bite you. Tonight it didn't. I like that Noah Philp stepped up for his teammate. But again, there are times and places here. Evander Kane threw a good, clean check. And Noah Philp, he went in and he cross-checked Kane into the boards. That's a penalty. Now, Vancouver got the late power play. Luckily for us Oilers fans and lucky for the team, Vancouver was not able to tie the game up. But that's a big difference there between the two players, right? Noah Philp, I like that. I'm not saying you shouldn't defend your teammates. I'm not saying that you should just skate away, right? You got to have a conversation. You got to let certain guys know, hey, don't touch my players, especially us rookies like Alec Regula. There are times and places to retaliate. And Noah Philp, unfortunately, good thing he didn't have to learn the hard way. Good thing Vancouver didn't tie the game, but that's a learning experience. I think Darnell Nurse will have a conversation with Noah Philp moving forward. We'll continue to take a look at the game stats here for your Edmonton Oilers. Noah Philp, Edge Visualizer. We'll take a look at his goal. This was a textbook 3-on-2 goal for Regula. Not Regula, for Noah Philp. But Colson into the middle. He gives it to Philp to Kapanen, back to Philp, and then Philp's shot, I think, went off of Tyler Myers' stick. It kind of went between the glove and the pad of Thatcher Demko. The Oilers were all over Vancouver up to that point, and they just needed something to beat him for some confidence. Happy to see Noah Philp get his first in the NHL. And then Andrew Mangiapane during the 4-on-4. Watch this play by Myers. Now, Myers is going to reverse it. Now, here's Coots for the Vancouver Canucks. This is a rookie for Vancouver, made the team out of camp, had a great camp for the Vancouver Canucks. I know Canucks fans love Coots. He's going to be a great player, right? Now, he sees Besser up the middle. What Coots needs to do here, instead of rushing the pass, Coots needs to grab it and skate up the ice and then find Besser. Besser had a step on Regula, but what Coots does, watch this. Tries to throw it across the ice instead of just skating up with it into a safe area. He could have skated up. We probably would have had a 3-on-2. You would have had that player for Vancouver, number 29, jump up with Besser and Coots. Didn't do that. Mangiapane steals it. Mangiapane turns. He spins, puts it over the blocker of Demko. That made it 2-0 Edmonton. Brock Besser makes it a 1-goal game early in the third period. The Oilers were kind of hemmed in. Jake DeBrusk at the post. Puck comes to Hughes. Hughes plays it down low. Comes to Besser. Besser just throws it into an area, goes off of the far post and in. Calvin Pickard looked a little confused. It's unfortunate that went in because overall, I thought Calvin Pickard played good. He didn't have to stand on his head tonight. Calvin Pickard did not have to stand on his head. He wasn't challenged, but he did make the saves he's supposed to make, and that's what we want from our goaltenders. We need Pickard and Skinner to make the saves they're supposed to make. Also, I said before the game, can we get a 905 from Pickard tonight? We definitely got better than a 905. Leon Draisaitl with the empty netter. Nice job here defensively. McDavid, I thought he was going to shoot it. He took his time, gave it to Nurse. Nurse is going to play the puck to Draisaitl. Draisaitl on his backhand. He throws it into an area, and it just happens to go into the net. The Oilers, I'm not used to them hitting the empty net, so that was very exciting during the live stream tonight. And if we take a look at the 3 stars for this game, also the penalty trouble here, Vancouver, Forbort, Kane, Frederick, Sherwood, Nurse, Kane, Myers, Hedl, Philp. No, Philp was the first star of the game. 1 goal, 1 point. Thatcher Demko, second star. I probably would have given Demko the first star, but I do like that they gave Noah Philp the first star. And then Andrew Mangiapane, he had a goal as well. 2 goals as an Edmonton Oiler. Love to see that for Andrew Mangiapane. And I thought that second line for Edmonton played much better than they did in the first game against Calgary. If we take a look at the box score here for the Oilers, McDavid and Draisaitl, this is unsustainable to me. 24.5 minutes, 24 minutes a night. I don't want to see McDavid and Draisaitl being played this much. I understand why, but if the logic of keeping McDavid and Draisaitl together is it gives other players opportunity, well, why is Noah Philp, who I thought had a great game, only playing 10:48? Isaac Howard, I thought he had an okay game. I thought he was a little quiet in some aspects, but he wasn't being put out in situations where he could have been a net negative. I think Ike Howard, you may see him go down to Bakersfield sooner rather than later, especially with Roslovic being ready to jump in pretty soon for the Edmonton Oilers. I feel like Howard's on the outside here. Not that I think he deserves to go down, but maybe just to get him some ice time, and then they can call him up later. Bouchard played 25-43. Embers only played 13-20. So, again, that's another situation where some of the defense not getting even ice time. I liked Darnell Nurse's game. Kulak 18, Ekholm 18. Regula 16-44. Thought he played a pretty solid game as well. Calvin Pickard, a .933 save percentage. You love to see that. Love to see that. The first hockey night in Canada of the year, the Oilers come out with a win. They're 1-0-1 on the season. It is a great way to rebound after a tough loss against Calgary on opening night. And with the Flames losing today to the St. Louis Blues, the Oilers, they make up the ground. They make up a couple points on division rivals. So that's also huge. It's game 2, but these points matter. Anyone that says games this time of year don't matter, they're wrong. Games do matter. It's important to win as early as possible. I do like the Oilers got to win, especially against a division rival trying to get back to the playoffs and a team that usually plays very, very difficult against Edmonton. The Oilers are able to hold them at bay for the most part, and we'll see what the rematch looks like later this month. I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend if you live here in Canada. Toronto Blue Jays tomorrow against Seattle. Cannot wait for that game. Cannot wait for the Oilers' next game as well, which is next Tuesday. Who do the Oilers play? Hold on a second. I'm going to pull this up. We're going to pull this up. Hold on, we're looking. They play the New York Rangers. Oh, it's an Eastern Conference road trip. We get early games next week. Tuesday at 5 p.m., Thursday 5:30, Saturday 1:30 local time against New Jersey. The Oilers are going on an Eastern Conference road trip very early this season. I am personally a big fan of the early start times. That makes me happy because right now, what is it, 11:06 p.m. here local as I'm recording this. Go to bed late on Saturdays, but I like the Eastern Conference road trips. Let's see how Edmonton does going out east. The Rangers are going to be a tough opponent, but big win for Edmonton tonight, and we'll see how they do the rest of the way. Thank you for your support. Smash that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you're not yet subscribed. Tomorrow, I will have a day after discussion up. Of course, that is the type of podcast that I do days after hockey games, so there's going to be lots to talk about tomorrow, especially with some of the rough stuff. Especially with Vander Kane back in town. There's a few things that I do want to discuss that I didn't talk about tonight, but I hope you enjoyed your stay regardless. Have a safe and wonderful Thanksgiving if you live here in Canada. If you don't live in Canada, I hope you have an amazing weekend the rest of the way here, and we'll see you soon, okay? Make sure you tell them that you love them. Go Toronto Blue Jays, all right? Go Jays, big series against the Mariners. Either Seattle makes the World Series for the first time ever, or Toronto makes the World Series for the first time since 1993, the year I was born. Oh my goodness, am I old? Am I an unk? Many of you think I'm an unk, so we'll see how it goes, folks. Take care, tell someone that you love them, and as always, fight like a kid, fight like Ben. Let's go Oilers, first victory chain of the season. Let's go.